All right, yo. So we back with our second topic. So the question is love unconditional? So, I mean, this is a very loaded question in my perspective. But is the love that you give to somebody, does it always have conditions on it, or is it unconditional? You know, is it free? Is it respectable? Is it understanding? Is it empathetic when it needs to be? So, what do y'all want to start up on?
Lewis, you wanna go in on it first? I'll let you go first on this.
No, it has conditions. It has a lot of conditions, and people don't. If you're not doing what a lot of people think you're supposed to do, then they'll cut you off right then and there. So I experienced that firsthand. Thinking people love you, and just because you're not doing what they expect you to do or think you should be doing it, they can treat you and talk to you any kind of way. It's just not right. It's not cool. It's disrespectful. It make you want to fight.
Yeah.
I say the only unconditional love, we're talking about it. The only unconditional love, in my opinion, is love for pets. I mean, a dog could, take a dump in your house, tear up your couch. He can eat up your mail.
And most people gonna keep that dog.
Most people keep the dog.
Most people, because me, I'm throwing that bitch out. that bitch gotta go.
Animals, whatever the animal may be, dog, cat, parrot, whatever. They can do certain things that'll make you extremely mad, but you'll still love that pet. You know what I'm saying? But for people, it usually comes with a condition. So I think amongst people, yeah, we do place conditions on our love, and for me, on our respect.
So you saying if I come take a number 2 in the middle of your living room?
Oh, the friendship is over. That friendship got to go, man. It got to go.
Yeah, but the dog can get away with it.
The dog can get away with it, man.
See,
the dog can get away with it.
That's that conditional love.
There you go. But see, that dog won't be like, hey, man, look, I had to do what I had to do right here. Or the dog could just be unaware of what he was doing if he wasn't trained. But then again, that'd be on me for not training it properly. But somebody trained you to go to the toilet. So, but yeah, so it's like I think we do place conditions on our love because we want people to move a certain way to get our time, energy, resources, and if they do something out of the norm or something that goes against our views, what we want, expect, our standards and stuff, then we begin to look at them differently. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it is healthy to have conditions on your love, because if you just allow anybody to do anything to you and there's no repercussions and there's no consequences, then you're going to become a doormat. People are going to walk all over you. So having conditions on your love is, I think, important. So y'all want to tap in?
Yeah, love is definitely conditional. I learned that at a very young age that unconditional love is not real. That's a lot of people always talk about, you supposed to unconditionally love me and all of this, and I'm like, no, it's conditions to this love, sweetheart. Like bro, like whoever, like it's conditions to this. Like I got morals, I have beliefs, and when energies are brought into that's messing up my vibrations, I gotta get you away from me. Like that's demonistic behavior. Like what I be on, and what I'm into, what I be doing, and you trying to You know what I'm saying? You trying to rock the boat. You trying to like
set your own rules. And
yeah,
stuff to
like you ain't even got to do that. You putting waves in the ocean that ain't even got to be there. These ain't natural waves. Like you creating your own waves, and that's not cool. It's not at all. So all love is conditional, and when people sit down and really think about it, y'all know it's true. Like, because a parent can stop loving a child at a certain point. It may take longer to stop loving certain relationships, but it's still possible to happen. Like, y'all know we do the Bible thumping, and the Most High always speaks about, like, if Israel wasn't doing this, and this, then basically his love is going to be taken away from you, because love, to go a little bit deeper, I believe is action. It's an action word. Actually, in the Hebrew language, everything in the Hebrew language, which is the original language of this earth, everything is about an action. It's not no just place word. They're actions. It all has an action attached to it. So love is an action. It's what you're doing. That's why somebody be like, man, show me some love. You know what I'm saying? Like, love is always an action. It's not a feeling. Feelings can be anything. Anybody can make you feel good. So that's why when they talk about that love at first sight, it's like that's you loving what they're doing. It's the actions that they're doing that you falling in love with. And we all know our actions can influence and a feeling inside somebody. So some people master that, and some people use it to their advantage to do wrong. You know, and some people use it to do well. So it's just like, gotta understand that love is definitely conditional. Like the actions, that's how you know it's conditional. Because if you think love is an action, you're saying these actions that this person is doing has to be within some conditions I'm willing to deal with. It has to be that way. Or it's like, what are we? If you just love anything, what sense does that even make? That's unconditional love. Unconditional love is like, no matter what this person do, I'ma love them. That's wild. Like, that's real wild. Like a person, that puts you in a real place of vulnerability to where they can do anything to you. And when we're young, we hear that unconditional love and we don't understand it. But as we mature, we understand love is definitely conditional. For sure.
It makes me think about that song. Tupac did a song called Unconditional Love. And I was just thinking about the song, like, I wasn't sure if he was trying to say that there's a possibility that love could be unconditional. Because, you know, people can make certain mistakes. You know, they can be in a bad mental state to do something that will make you withdraw your love from somebody. You know what I'm saying? But it makes me think, like, was he speaking on a possibility of loving somebody unconditional, regardless of their mistakes or their issues or their problems, you know? Or do you just wipe your hands with that situation? So
I think Tupac gave a lot of bad advice to our culture and community. I'm going to say that. Although I do enjoy his music, you know what I'm saying? Like, the music is dope, but he gave a lot of bad advice, like only God can judge me. Like, only God can judge me. That's wild. We all out here every day making judgments. Like you're judging. When you seeing what people doing and you don't like that, you're making a judgment right then and there. Like, we all are judging different things that are going on right in front of us every day. So we judging each other for sure. So yeah, Tupac. But I feel you on that. I have to listen to that song again to really see what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. I have to listen to that.
It was a pretty deep song, but it just made me think, like, you know, like we all want to be able to be ourselves, and in doing that, sometimes we make a mistake that we're not, you know, fully aware of, of the magnitude of that mistake. But we still want people to give us that same level of respect and the same level of empathy if we try to do better after that situation. Now, we would want that same empathy given to us, but as far as given to somebody else in that situation, do we have that same level of empathy for them, or do we have a biased perspective? So the song kind of made me think about that. Just something to think about. So, but Lewis, what you got?
People don't want to hear what you got to say. They want to get theirs off, but they ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say about them. But them person, you got to take that as a lesson learned and distance yourself from.
You just got to be careful of being able to take too much. Like, you can get to a mental place to where you can take almost anything, and then you get to a point where people think you don't care if you don't react. Like, I ain't saying you got to react with anger, but you got to react in some form or fashion, like to let them know that it's not
Sternness.
right. Yeah, like it's not right. Like this action that you just made, like, even though it don't bother me into a way where it's gonna change the way I move, think, whatever, whoop to whoop, you still need to know that wasn't right, and then it's consequences for all these type of actions. Like, cause I mean, no cap, I done got to a point where I'm damn near numb to shit. As long as it ain't messing up how I get my paper, how I feed my children, take care of them, I'm like numb to all that other shit, because it's not. Bro, I done heard the worst from so many people, so it's like, seen so much and heard so much, it's like, I gotta make myself numb to it, because I don't want to. I try to be slow to anger. I mean, I am slow to anger, so it's like. But when you start doing that, it gets to a point where people start thinking you don't even care about nothing, so they think they can just get away with whatever. And it ain't that at all, because sometimes it ain't even revenge. Like, the consequences that come for action, sometimes we got to do them ourselves. Like, because vengeance is for the Most High. But to avenge yourself or to avenge your brother, that's something you can take upon yourself. For sure. There's a difference between vengeance and avenging. Because vengeance is unrighteous. Avenging something, that's righteous action.
Yeah. You got something to say, Luke? There was one more thing that I was going to add. As far as like with loving somebody unconditionally, there has to be a level of consistency that you show that person. So you gotta let that person know, like, hey, look, this is what I stand on, this is who I am, and if you're willing to, threaten that, or you're willing to disrespect that, then I gotta take my love away, which is where that condition comes from. It doesn't come from trying to control somebody, or trying to place them in a box, or trying to change who they are. I think it comes more so from the level of self-respect you have for yourself, and the standards and codes and rules that you set for yourself to be at a certain level, to where anybody who comes in your life doesn't think that they can do whatever, or think that they can start to change you or change the way how you live your life, And with what Christian was saying earlier about how it's not that you don't care, it's more so the fact that you just built a certain level of mental strength to where you're not going to be moved or be wavered by anything anybody else does, because of the fact that you set specific conditions and the respect and the self-love you have for yourself, So I would agree with him. Like, I'm numb to a lot of things. I'm numb to things that friends have done to me. I'm numb to things that family have done. I'm numb to things that strangers. Like, there's a lot that people can do to disrespect me, but it's not gonna move me off my square, because I have a certain level of respect for myself to where I know that if I allow anybody else to move me out of my square, then that's power that I'm willingly giving to them. Now, so the conditions that I set on my love keep me in a mindset to where nobody can just come into my life and do whatever they want to me. You know, so I think that's very important as far as like setting conditions on your love to where it's healthy for one, and it doesn't negatively affect or impact somebody else's life. You know, so.
Yeah. I remember I used to always ask this question to people like, if you always reacting to what somebody else is doing and that's how you live in your life, then other people are living your life for you. You're not in control of yourself. Like if you always reacting to what somebody else is doing to you, then they are in control of you.
It's big.
And I had to teach myself that because I was going through a lot when I was in my marriage, and bro, it really taught me how to deal with my anger and my feelings. Like, yeah, so that's very important.
With this last confrontation I got into, I previous ones I got kind of carried away with, but with this last confrontation, I seen a big difference in the way I handled it, and I'm real proud of myself. There wasn't no disrespect coming from my end, and I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I feel empowered. I feel like I'm ready to go out here and face the world. So you know,
that's what's up.
All good.
And it's sad because some men they never get to that point, and they just continue to be a doormat their whole life, letting people walk all over them, let people come into life and change and do this and that their whole lives, you know. So
I mean, they're always reacting to what somebody else is doing. They're not in control of their future. So take control.
And I would say set conditions on your love so that you give people a standard to live up to, because that's not only gonna keep structure in your life, but it's gonna help that other person evolve from the mentality that they have bring into your life. You know, so I think it's mutualistic if you have a standard for yourself and you have conditions to the love that you give and the respect that you give, because it shows that person that you're not somebody to be played with. You know, so.
Look at you using big words like
definitely got to do that with the people that you love.
Yeah,
you definitely got to do that with the people you love.
It's big facts.